Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Scott here from Woke Societies. How's everyone doing tonight? Let me know in the chat if you can see the screen, you can see my thumbnail, you can hear my voice. Give me a 5-5 in the chat. YouTube showed me a warning sign here, and I don't know why. There we go. All right. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Guys, I look forward to hanging out with all of you in a live stream setting. I look forward to doing this all week. It's so good to be here. Let's bring the screen back to me. What's up, everybody? We are live on DLive, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. We are all over the place, and I can hear you guys. I can see in the chat. You guys can hear me. You can see me. Thank you guys for that. Thank you to all the mods that are here. Man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff to talk about. We're going to be diving deep into Ghislaine Maxwell. We're going to be talking about her father. And this is the 10th week of pain. Q has brought it up many times. You know the list. This is the last week, but don't get me wrong. This isn't going to be the last week of pain for the deep state. I can tell you that right now. There are a lot of rich people. A lot of people right now. The elites, the political elite, princesses, whatever you want to call them, they are not sleeping at night. And I can tell you right now, there's tapes out there. There are tapes out there, and it looks like Ghislaine knows where some of these tapes are. She might have them all, and there are some theories going around that she might have already been arrested this entire year. When Epstein went down, and really what was going on is that they were doing some operations and maybe getting some more dirt on these pedophiles that were blackmailed. We're going to get into all that tonight. If you can for me, guys, hit the like button, share, comment, tell your friends and family. We are the news now. We just hit, again, 85,000 subscribers. We just hit 85,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. That is a tribute to all of you out there that have been supporting this channel since I started. We are 15,000 away from 100,000, guys. Amazing, amazing stuff. Love it. So we're just going to take another minute here to get everyone gathered around here at the table. Get your coffee, get your snacks, your beer, whatever the hell you do to chill out and relax, because it's going to be a good time tonight. So if you guys can for me, again, go to the Woke Society's channel, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends and family that we are the news now. Let them know that this channel exists. And the stuff we're talking about will not be discussed on any mainstream news outlet. I can tell you that right now, especially some of the stuff we're going to be diving in today. It's so good to see all of you. We're already at we're almost at 2,000 viewers already. Absolutely amazing. Are you guys ready to discuss what this coming week is going to bring in the future of what we're going to be dealing with in the next coming months? I'm ready to go. Just going to give everyone another minute or two to go in there. So while you guys are here, check out all the links in my description. I have my shop there. You guys can see the hats on the main screen. Check out all the merch there. My brother is Pops Trophies. He's the one that makes all this stuff. And also Bruce from ESO Creative. He might be there tonight, I'm not sure, but he does all the t-shirts and apparel. So go check out the store. That is supporting 3 local businesses. 3 local businesses right out here in New York. Check out the BitChute, check out the Patreon, look at all the ways that you can sponsor this channel. And if you can't do any of that, a simple like on the episode is more than enough. And of course, my PayPal donation for one-time donations as well. It's all there for you guys. So check it out. Go check it out. So let me hop over the chat. Let me see where everyone's doing. We're already at 2,100 viewers. Absolutely beautiful. So while we're here, let me get to my sponsor. They have been amazing. They have been fantastic to me. We've had a great relationship, and they have seen amazing success. You guys have absolutely blown the doors off the subscriptions for Flip City Magazine. I'm going to go into them right now. So guys, you've been seeing it. I've been talking about them. This is what you'll see inside the newest edition. This is called Woke World, ironically. And you guys can just see here just a clip of what you'll get in this magazine. So this is, again, Flip City Magazine, America's Last Lap. This is created by 2 beautiful people out in California. This is Mad Magazine on steroids. This is a completely PC-free magazine. It's comedy, it's satire. This can be shown to your family and friends and can be held onto for years because it's a snapshot of history and it's also hilarious. You guys can see, honestly, Norma, why do I buy you all those nice skirts if you're not going to wear them? Because my name is Norman and I'm a boy. Just ridiculous. And 6 stars we like to see Quarantine, and Donald Glover is one of these. Second string sitcom actor Glover seems to have suffered a swelled head, resurrecting himself as anti-racism and oppression warrior, and Psy, hip-hop messiah, the comic cum cultural revolutionary, is about as aware of the civil rights era as is an intermittently trending alter ego childish Gambino is of shirts. So when you guys go and subscribe today, this is the magazine right here. You guys can see my mouse cursor circling it. This will be the magazine you will get, and the one previous was the previous issue. So you guys can order both. And when you guys go to the website, when you guys go to flipcitymag.com, you guys will have the option here to get a subscription. It's 4 magazines, $5 a magazine. It's $20 for the year, guys. And right now, this is a special promotion that Flip City wanted me to do for first responders, police, and military. If you go and subscribe today and use the code USA at checkout, you will get $5 off for life on a permanent subscription. So all that, there you go. There is no reason not to sign up for this. And again, the code is USA for all first responders, police, and military that sign up today for a subscription. And you guys can get $5 off that magazine for the lifetime while you have Flip City. Great deal. So go check them out. When you support my sponsors, you are supporting my channel. So thank you guys for allowing me to get the time in to do that. So let's jump into the episode show. We have a lot to cover. And what do I want to begin today? If you guys didn't see, Tom Hanks had an opinion on a video about what he thought everyone should be doing as far as mask and COVID. So let's hop over to here. Oh, and before I forget, I'm going to announce this too. This is tomorrow. Me and Methods are going to be doing a show together. It's not our show. It's on Uncensored with Conscious Abe on his 5x5 show. This will be tomorrow, Wednesday, July 8th from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Me and Methods are going to be talking some chill conversation like we always do, talking about our show and, of course, all the news going on. So check that out tomorrow as well at Alan Keyline on YouTube at 5 p.m. on the 5x5. So here's Tom Hanks. He says, if you can't wear a mask and wash your hands and social distance, I've got no respect for you. Let's listen to what the man actually said here in this 49-second clip, and I'll see you guys on the other side of the intro. Take a watch.
Whether or not we like it, we're all in this together. We're all affected by this. So let's, at the very least, there's a lot of stuff you can do beyond that, but at the very least, 3 tiny things is in everybody's wheelhouse. If you choose to do them. Wear a mask, wash your hands, social distance. If you can't do that, I don't have much respect for you. It's pretty easy to do your part. If you drive a car, you got to use your turn signal, not drive too fast, and avoid pedestrians. Those are 3 things that should be pretty easy to do. And COVID-19, if we social distance, wear a mask, and wash our hands, we'll be able to get along. So let's do that.
Damn, if it was one thing I didn't need in this world, it was Tom Hanks' respect.
Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans they conceal. Grab your flashlight, it's time to go down the rabbit hole. It's dark and hell is hot, dealing with satanic souls. The tide is turning, patriots are now in control. Apply aggressive pressure right now until they fold. Stay woke, open up your eyes and keep them peeled. All they do is lie, realize not everything is real. Through Project Looking Glass, the future is revealed. Future proves past, but there won't be any deals. Woke society's fam, you know it's time to go. Grab your popcorn, sit back now, enjoy the show. Severe and non on the mic, so come on, enjoy the flow. The wave is rising and you know it's only gonna grow.
Oh, don't we just love Tom Hanks? Don't we just love when Hollywood is just telling us how we should go about our daily lives, and how Tom Hanks doesn't have respect for anyone that doesn't follow social distancing or wears a mask. Tom Hanks can go screw himself. And that's all I got to say about that. I saw that video and it just got me riled up, guys. Not in a good way, man. There is one thing that I can't stand. It's any kind of entertainer, Hollywood personality telling us how we should think and what we should do. I want to drop an F-bomb right now, but I'm going to be good. All right, guys. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Thanks for everyone in the for the mods. Thank you all for being here already. We're already at 3,200 viewers, guys. Hit the like button. That we already broke a record for tonight. Thank you guys so much. So where do I want to begin? Well, I want to start with something that I saw over the weekend. This, to me, ladies and gentlemen, is the biggest Q proof that you could possibly find. And I know it's a little bit older news, but I don't care. This was something that, to me, just made me just realize how far this movement's come since I've joined it. Take a look. Everyone and their mom already knows about this, but this was so important. General Flynn out here tweeting, hashtag take the oath, happy 4th of July, God bless America. And let's just watch the video and we'll talk about this just for a little bit. Take a watch.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend.
That I will support and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
And that I will well and faithfully.
Discharge the duties.
Discharge the duties.
Of the office on which I am about to enter.
Of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go one, we go all.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Guys, the significance of this video, you have to realize, I joined this movement about a year ago, but I was following this stuff before that, before I even decided to do a channel. And when I had first gotten into this movement, where General Flynn was probably the most darkest place. And as far as optimism as to how he's going to get out of the tentacles of the deep state and the Spygate actors that had him trapped, there was never a time. Seeing him out in the public tweeting and talking and writing letters, it's a miracle in itself that he has gotten this far. And the fact that you have General Flynn here reading the oath that Q told everyone to stand up, rise up, and read it. There he is with his family. And if you guys didn't notice too, I'm not going to take credit for this. Let me put this down so their arms are down here. If you guys notice here in the back, the window, now this could mean nothing. I'll blow it up here so you guys can see it. Look at over here. Dark to light. Now, this is just speculation. Do I think that was a message? Of course I do, because we have seen if you just go on General Flynn's Twitter, you can watch his banner. It changes and it's complete symbology of the current situation of whatever we're going through at the moment. And he's always encouraging a positive message. And seeing that in the background was just really cool to see as well, the dark to light. But of course, the media doesn't know what to do with this right now. All they can do is make fun of QAnon and their followers. And the fact that we have a general here, saying where we go one, we go all, is just amazing. And would it surprise you guys one day that this man here, General Flynn, he could run for president? And I know for a fact, so many of us would have his back and support. And maybe it's something he's going to be considering doing in the future, because I know he has an entire country of patriots that would back this man. And it's even cooler to see that this is happening, because we know his work is not done yet. His work's not done yet, and the moment he gets folded back into the Trump administration, you know he's going to be one of the most valuable assets that Trump has. He knows where all the bodies are buried, just like Q says all the time. There is so much to be looking forward to, and I just want to go over this article here because it caught everyone's attention. Even the media that doesn't warp things, like the Washington Examiner, they're a good news outlet, was talking about it as well. Michael Flynn recites oath of office using slogan associated with QAnon. And they didn't paint it in a negative light, which was really, really cool. So it just says, during the evening of July 4th, retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn shared a video of himself leading 5 other people in a recitation of the oath of office traditionally given to federal elected office holders, ending the oath with a slogan associated with the QAnon conspiracy theory. And it's funny because Sidney Powell weighed in on what he had said. Flynn and the others ended the short video by quoting a popular QAnon slogan, "Where we go one, we go all," after which they said, "God bless America." Sidney Powell, a former federal prosecutor who took over Flynn's defense last year, denied her client's video had anything to do with QAnon. The slogan comes from an engraved bell on JFK's sailboat, acknowledging the unity of mankind. The oath is obvious, the federal oath in support of our Constitution. He wanted to encourage people to think about being a citizen. Don't read anything else into it, she told the Washington Examiner. And this did not discourage me one bit. To me, this is the same kind of thinking when Trump and his son Don Jr. got together. They did the interview, and Don Jr. asked Trump about Roswell and the UFOs. And remember his answer. Trump didn't deny it. He didn't outright deny it. He gave a kind of middle of the fence saying Roswell is a very interesting place. And he couldn't answer the questions about aliens, but he didn't dismiss it. And to me, when Sidney Powell was talking about this being the slogan comes from an engraved bell on JFK's sailboat, that is true. But the symbology with JFK and how he was taken down for trying to take down the CIA, wanting to splinter it, and also have UFO disclosure, there was so much that JFK wanted to do. If he was not killed, he probably would be the top president in history. We'll have to see what Trump does in his second term once we get there. But it was just really cool to see that this wasn't a hit piece on QAnon, and it was so cool to see that General Flynn is back in action, and he did this, and it was just an amazing moment, and it just to uplift everyone's spirits and encourage everybody, because this man 2 years ago, he got bankrupted. He had to pay lawyers to defend himself when there was no reason for this man to be under investigation. He went through hell, his family went through hell, and now he's been vindicated, and it's great to see. So I just wanted to get that started on a light note, because the rest of this stuff is going to be dark and dreary. So let's get back to here on Twitter. This is from Benny Johnson on Twitter. This was a video taking of outside of a church. And outside this church were people trying to finally go back to church because it's been months. And what do we have? We have BLM protesters outside and far left anarchists mobbing people in front of a church. And he says Christian places of worship getting surrounded by leftist mobs in America, parishioners getting dragged off the steps of their church and getting beaten by the leftist mob. Why? Because they're Christians. This is what the Democratic Party has created. And remember, there was a video when Chaz was still a thing out in Seattle. There was videos of people getting choked, literally to the point of unconsciousness, and beaten. And the only reason why was because they identify themselves as Christians or of some type of that religion. And they were beaten and put unconscious because of that. And now this is also happening. I don't know exactly where this location was, but I'm just going to play the video just for a minute and just get a reaction from you guys and let me know what you think. Take a watch.
Stop touching me. Stop touching me. These are our distractions. I don't care. I don't care. It's my side.
And as this was happening, it got more and more violent. To the point where police had to show up on scene for a church service to get people away from the churchgoers for simply going to church. Now, it's one thing if you're out in the public, people are upset that you don't wear a mask. I could give two shits about it, but you know how people are. They want to make other people feel okay. This is something private. It's public, but it's a private building. People are going to church to worship. It has nothing to do with racism, has nothing to do with George Floyd, has nothing to do with any of this stuff. And yet people are getting harassed now for their religion. And you want to talk about racism. People can't even go to church now. And the Democrats are totally okay with this. Now churchgoers are getting attacked. And for me, we already knew what the message was from BLM and these rioters and Antifa. We knew who they were, but it was focused in the beginning at the police. And now it is completely just turned into this gross thing where it's seeped into now people going to church. It's not just about race anymore. It's not just about corrupt cops anymore. Now we are trying to change an entire culture completely. And this is what Trump was talking about in his speech in Mount Rushmore. But you know where it gets me, where this message of BLM and Black Lives Matter loses me, is this video right here from the Daily Caller. If you guys haven't seen this video, I'm going to play it right now. This is a man that lost his 8-year-old daughter. He says, they say Black Lives Matter, you killed your own. You killed a child. Secoria Williamson, father of 8-year-old Secoria Turner, addressed the public after his daughter was shot and killed last night in Atlanta by armed protesters. Listen to what this man has to say.
They say Black Lives Matter. You killed your own. Killed your own this time. Just because of barrier. They killed my baby because she crossed the barrier and made a U-turn. You killed a child. She ain't do nothing to nobody.
They didn't give us time to make a U-turn. They started shooting on my car before we could even make a U-turn. Shooting my tires out like, why?
But Black Lives Matter.
My baby was shot in her bed.
Killing your own.
Nobody there to help
You
me.
killed an 8-year-old child.
Nobody.
She ain't did nothing to now one of y'all. She just wanted to get home to see her cousin. That's all she wanted to do. She just wanted to get home. They say Black.
She just wanted to get home. And the worst part about all this, and I was talking to my patrons yesterday on the live stream that I had yesterday, you have this going on here, and even you had the media yesterday in the press briefing, which you guys didn't see. It was absolutely infuriating. All the press was doing was asking about Donald Trump's stance on the Confederate flag. Meanwhile, you have situations like this where you have these protesters, which we know they aren't protesters. They're rioters and looters. They're out there. They're anarchists. They're anti-Americans. And they killed an 8-year-old girl. You don't see this in the news. And on top of it, where I'm completely lost with all of this is the amount of murders and shootings happening in Chicago and New York alone. It's over like 200%, 200 or 300% out in Chicago, and maybe over 150 or 144% I saw in New York City. And people are being shot in the double digits and some being killed on a daily basis in the double digits. But none of this is being talked about in the mainstream media. And when you start seeing protesters kill their own, who they're saying their lives matter, and they're killing them, what is the end game? What was the original end game? We know what the end game is because we know Black Lives Matter is run by Marxists. Their leaders are devout Marxists who publicly proclaim they are Marxists, and they want to completely erase our entire culture and our history. That is what Black Lives Matter is. It's just coded in a nice name to try to get the piggyback on these people that are actually hurting, that deserve to have the attention, that have been brutally treated by corrupt police. There are some out there. But when you have this going on with a man that had his 8-year-old daughter killed and there's nothing out of the media about it, you know it's not about Black Lives Matter. And it gets worse. It gets worse. Because this, to me, if you're not lost on their message at this point, this will have to do you in. This is from sarahcarter.com. Statue of Frederick Douglass, former slave and abolitionist, torn down and damaged in New York. So now you have a actual statue of a slave that actually suffered, because none of these people that are protesting were actual slaves ever in their entire lives. This is a couple hundred years ago. But now somebody that was actually a slave, that actually stood up for African American people, that statue gets torn down too. There is nothing that will stop them. And now at this point, I don't understand what is your movement about. So let's read this. First, the Confederate flag was taken down across the nation, then statues of Confederate soldiers, then statues of anyone with an association to slavery, now statues of slaves who fought for freedom. That's right. The statue of Frederick Douglass, a former slave who fought for abolition and education, was ripped down in Rochester, New York on Sunday. It was removed from its pedestal by unknown vandals and found by authorities nearly 50 feet from its base, leaning against a fence next to the Genesee River. The despicable act was carried out on the 168th anniversary of Douglass's famous "What to the Slave is the 4th of July" speech given in the same town in 1852. And Carvin Eisen, a member of the initiative re-energizing the legacy of Frederick Douglass, the group responsible for putting up the statue, told the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle another statue will have to be erected as the damage is so severe. He noted it was painful to see a monument that we put so much work and thought and love and care into mistreated and vandalized. I feel we should put a monument back here immediately so whoever did this knows that we are not going to be deterred from what our objective is. And our objective is to continually celebrate Frederick Douglass, Eason told the local outlet. And it's just, at this point, this man, Frederick Douglass, he was born into slavery and was chosen to live in his owner's home and learn the alphabet from slave owner's wife, Sophia. He learned to read and did so constantly. And this man was the embodiment of what these people are saying. Their lives matter. But why are you ripping down a man that actually was a slave and fought for these reparations and fought to have freedom? Why are you ripping his statue down? What is it accomplishing? At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I just don't know what the message is. I do know the message of a certain someone, though. I came across this today, too, because the message is not about Black Lives Matter. It's about cancel culture and erasing our history and trying to start a far left, anti-American leftist revolution. And that's what's happening. And look who we have here talking today. Representative Ilhan Omar calls for dismantling of the U.S. economy and political systems. The fact that this cancer called Ilhan Omar is allowed to speak, and the fact she's even in our country at all drives me crazy. And she's talking about a system of oppression. Take a watch and try not to get as mad as I did.
As long as our economy and political systems prioritize profit without considering who is profiting, who is being shut out, we will perpetuate this inequality. So we cannot stop at criminal justice system. We must begin the work of dismantling the whole system of oppression wherever we find it.
We must work at dismantling the entire political system, and she calls it the system of oppression. Now, before we get into that, just want to hop over back to the chat here. We're at 4,755 viewers. That is a record, guys. If we can get to 5,000, that'll be a tremendous record. Thank you so much. Hit that like button for me. So we have Ilhan Omar here talking about suppression and how the entire economy and political system needs dismantling. It's disgusting to see that people like her, ones that laughed about 9/11, are even allowed to speak, to say anything in this country when we know her background with her brother. We know how she got over here illegally. We know all of that. And yet she's still standing up there talking about how the entire system needs to be dismantled. You want to know my opinion on how we fix this racism thing, or where we can begin to start fixing this racism thing? If we can take whites and we can start with whites and blacks and all come together. I don't know how you would accomplish this, but this is just me spitballing here. You bring all the white people and all the black people. And you know what you do? You get together and you recognize and you validate each other's differences. There are some things black people are better at, and there's some things white people are better at. But guess what? Humankind was built to be harmonious with each other. We're not the same, and we can acknowledge that, and that's okay. But this has never happened before. At least at that point, when we can come together and recognize each other's differences and just validate those differences between each other and know that's okay that we're different. We're better at some things, you're better at other things. And we can live together in harmony. That to me is where you start to begin melting down these barriers of these race wars. Because all this infighting is exactly what the puppet masters at the top of the pyramid, this is exactly what they want. When we stop fighting each other and stop ripping each other just for the color of our skin, maybe then we can start changing our perception and our reality and creating the future that we all want, which I'm going to get into as far as perception and reality towards the end of the show. But seeing this set me over the edge, so now I got it off my chest. You guys got to hear it, and now you guys can be mad with me. So there you go. That's what I want. So now I'm going to transition gears here to Ghislaine Maxwell. I have so much to cover for her. It's unreal what's going on with her. So we'll have to see. My computer is loading up the article here, and here we go. The New York Post. Ghislaine Maxwell transferred to New York City lockup ahead of court date. And now people are freaking out because, again, this is the same place that Jeffrey Epstein was also sent and supposedly killed himself. So Jeffrey Epstein confidant Ghislaine Maxwell has been transferred from a New Hampshire jail to a federal lockup in New York City, officials says. The accused madame, who was arrested last week for allegedly helping procure underage girls for Epstein to sexually abuse, was moved from Merrimack County House of Corrections to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, U.S. Bureau of Prisons officials confirmed. And on Sunday, prosecutors asked a Manhattan federal judge to set her arraignment in Manhattan court for Friday. The Post previously reported that Maxwell could end up in the Sunset Park lockup instead of the Metropolitan Correction Center federal prison in Lower Manhattan, where Epstein killed himself in a cell last August. And after the debacle with Epstein, nothing can happen to her, a source told the Post on Saturday. And to be honest, I'm shocked that Ghislaine, I'm just surprised she's not chained up to Barr's desk and Ghislaine gets to go wherever AJ Barr goes. I know when Epstein supposedly killed himself, I know that bothered him on a personal level, and he cannot let that happen again. So let me just turn my ad blocker off here so I can get to these other articles that I want to show you guys, because there is a reason. There is a big reason. We thought Epstein was the big fish. In my personal opinion, after researching Ghislaine Maxwell and her ties, which we're going to see with her father in just a little bit, I believe Ghislaine is the bigger fish than Epstein was. Now take a look at this. This is from the Daily Mail. Exclusive. She has copies of everything Epstein had. Ghislaine Maxwell has secret stash of pedophile sex tapes that could implicate world's most powerful and will try to use them to save herself. Ghislaine Maxwell, 58, had a secret stash of Jeffrey Epstein's twisted sex tapes, a former friend exclusively revealed to the Daily Mail. When officials raided Epstein's New York City townhouse last July, they found thousands of graphic photos that included images of underage girls in a safe filled with compact discs labeled nude girls, according to authorities. Good thing this isn't on TV, right? The ex-friend said not only did Epstein like to capture himself with underage girls, he wanted to make sure he had something to hold over the rich and powerful men who took advantage of his sick largesse. They added, Ghislaine has always been as cunning as they come. She wasn't going to be with Epstein all those years and not have some insurance. Of course not. She has copies of everything Epstein had. They could implicate movers and shakers if she goes down. She's going to take the whole lot of them with her. The socialite is connected to some of the world's most influential people, including Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump. And they throw Donald Trump in there. No worries, people. There is nothing to worry about. Let's continue. She was arrested at her hideout in Bradford, New Hampshire last Thursday, charged with 6 federal crimes, including sex trafficking. And again, we're seeing more of these tapes being talked about. The tapes are key. We've seen the image from that Q always uses of the dungeons that were taken on the Instagram account. I can't remember her name at the moment, but the Instagram account of the dungeon, you see the slaves eating off the floor. And all these other weird images of everything that happened on that island. That was just, 12, 15 pictures that we were able to see. And there was thousands found in Epstein's safe and his Manhattan mansion. And you know damn well, the whole entire operation that was being run, essentially, if you guys don't know, Epstein Island was essentially a honeypot. It was a honeypot. Just like the Playboy Mansion is and other things all across the world, these places are used and there's cameras everywhere. They're used for blackmail. And when you have people on a level of Epstein and even people above him, people coming to his island in and out, and every room has a camera in it. This is blackmail used to leverage power and to hold up a carrot above anybody to have that power. So there's more control. More of this control by the elite over the other elites. It's absolutely insane, but there is tapes out there, and the tapes will prove it all. And I just saw here, I think we're at 5,200 viewers, you guys. You were amazing. Hit that like button. Yes, I did say compact dicks. It slipped. You guys can all laugh at me. It happens. Whatever. We got 5,200 viewers. That is an all-time record, guys. You were amazing. Hit that like button for me. So let's continue to see what else we found here about Ghislaine. So also from the New York Post, this came out today. Look at the lawyer that Ghislaine lawyered up with. This is no Joe Schmo. Ghislaine Maxwell hires Christian Everdell, lawyer who helped take down El Chapo. This is interesting. Ghislaine Maxwell has hired the former prosecutor who helped bring down drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman to try to get her off child sex trafficking charges, and that is definitely not happening. Recent court filings for the 58-year-old British media heiress show that she is being repped by Christian Everdell, who spent more than a decade as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. And curious, it's pretty ironic to me that he's from the Southern District of New York and he used to be a former U.S. attorney there. So he's very well versed in the cases that are probably there, and he knows a lot of people there. So it's a good hire for Maxwell. I don't think it's going to help her in the long run, but we'll have to see. But Everdell's bio notes how he and his team were awarded a True American Hero Award by the Federal Drug Agent Foundation for their work in the investigation and apprehension of the former head of the Sinaloa drug cartel in Mexico. He will, of course, do what is in the best interest of his client, but no doubt he will be talking to her about the benefits of becoming a cooperating witness, tweeted Jennifer Rogers, who used to be a supervisor as a fellow federal Southern District of New York prosecutor. And notice this, it literally says right here, he will no doubt be talking to her about the benefits of being a cooperating witness. And at this point, her life is already ruined. If she goes to jail, she's going to maximum prison sentence, I think, of 35 years. I don't know exactly how old she is, but I'm pretty sure that would be a life sentence for her. If anything, if it was me and I knew I was probably either going to die in jail, die in prison, I am going to bring the whole lot of them down with me. And this is what's keeping Bill Clinton awake, Prince Andrew awake, and we all saw the list of names that Q dropped. It was over 100 names, and that's just some of them, of everyone that went to Epstein's Island and was on the Lolita Express in the Black Book. There are so many people out there that are going to be implicated. This is a huge case, and it's not going to wait. This is going to be one of the biggest cases, if not the biggest case. If what we want to come out, this is the pain that we're talking about. What is going to come out this week and the following weeks? Are we going to see Bill Clinton take a perp walk? Are we going to see who else? I don't know. But to me, along with Durham's investigation with everything going on Spygate, plus this, you guys can't tell me nothing is going on, that we're not going to see something happen before the election. I'm so certain that we're going to see somebody get arrested before Trump takes the stage on November 3rd and landslides anybody, because it ain't going to be Joe Biden, whoever's going to be there waiting for him to debate. And I just want to bring up one more Daily Mail article here that was really interesting. The Deutsche Bank. Look at this. Deutsche Bank is fined $150 million for failing to intervene as Jeffrey Epstein made suspicious payments to Russian models, settled lawsuits, and paid girls tuition and rent after his 2008 conviction for child sex abuse. So we had the Deutsche Bank here moving money for a convicted pedophile, knew it, and still did it anyways. And they were fined by the New York Department of Financial Services, which is probably a slap on the wrist because they're a gigantic bank, but they did it anyway. So he was then labeled a sex offender, and the bank had a duty to monitor his accounts. The New York State governor said, but between 2013 and 18, he made suspicious payments to Russian models and women with Eastern European surnames. He also paid for girls' tuition, settled their rent, and paid for their hotel expenses. Epstein also used his accounts to give money to co-conspirators who the government did not name, and those are the names that we're waiting for. He also used the accounts to settle lawsuits of more than $7 million and pay legal fees. Over 4 years, he withdrew more than $800,000 in cash. The government says the fine also applies to Deutsche's dealings with FBME Bank in Danske Estonia. Danske Estonia was at the heart of a money laundering scandal whereby Russian oligarchs funneled 200 billion euro through accounts. So this bank has already had so many shady dealings going on. They just got hit for money laundering 200 billion euro, and this is the same bank that was illegally moving money for Epstein as well. Pretty funny to see that happen, but are you guys really surprised by this? Of course not. Of course not. And even more news coming out. We had a former Reddit CEO, Ellen Powell, claim she knew about Epstein Maxwell pedophile network and said nothing. And this was the person, the CEO. She had a brief tenure in 2015, and she claims she knew Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein supplied underage girls as sex toys for the rich and powerful, and said nothing. And this This person right here, it says here from Breitbart, Powell, known for being an early proponent of the woke politics of feminism and racial grievance that now characterize every Silicon Valley company, made the shocking admission in a tweet yesterday evening. She said she knew about it. And she said, to be clear, the press had described her as supplying underage girls for sex, but she had not been charged. So I guess it would be more accurate to say we suspected versus we knew. And that just sounds like some bullshit jumbling of words, word soup saying, yeah, we had suspicions, but you know, that's not the same as we knew. It's just word soup. It's playing semantics. It's all BS, but it's just really crazy to see. If people like Ellen Powell knew about her, imagine how many hundreds of other people knew about Epstein and knew about Ghislaine Maxwell and exactly what they were doing. Because guys, when the news comes out of what these people were doing under the island, inside these ritual chambers and all these other things that were going on there, the world is going to have a gigantic red pill to swallow, and it's going to be super upsetting for some people. It's going to be really, really upsetting for some people. But the video I'm going to show you next is super, super interesting. Now, this is why I'm saying Ghislaine Maxwell, I believe, in my opinion, is the bigger fish over Epstein. And everyone remembers when Q said they're going to save Israel for last. There are a lot of reasons for that. Some reasons I can't talk on this channel about, but Q has said they are saving Israel for last. And what do we know is Israel? We know Mossad is Israel. And why is Mossad important? Well, Ghislaine Maxwell's father was a part of Mossad. And I'm going to show you a clip here of talking about his previous history and why he was such a huge asset to Mossad to begin with. Now, it goes over how Ghislaine Maxwell's early in the video. The audio is really terrible up to the point where I have it saved. So it's just talking about how he moved up in the ranks. He can speak many languages. He was a super businessman, can sell anything to anyone. But the main meat of this video is what I'm going to show you here, where they're talking about why and how Mossad went after Ghislaine Maxwell's father and how this whole entire thing started. Take a watch.
Journals. He also saw the mirror circulation climb and climb and climb. And you would have thought you'd been satisfied with that, but no. He had made in his heart of hearts a commitment that Israel for him was to be a spiritual home, even though he had a British passport, even though he'd served in the British Army and so on. And so when he was approached by Mossad, because, you see, at that time we had the Cold War at full blast, and Maxwell was the only person who could walk into the Kremlin, could walk into anywhere in Eastern Europe through his languages, through his connections, through his publishing, everything else. And he became a natural target for Mossad to wish to recruit.
He became a natural target for the Mossad to recruit. And now we know when Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell met up, Ghislaine Maxwell was already part of this group. It was her father. And when Epstein and her met up, we knew Epstein had all these licenses and IDs for other countries, and we knew he was running drugs and guns for Ghislaine Maxwell's father. So you know damn well, my opinion on all this, Epstein's connected to Mossad, and so is Ghislaine, and this goes back directly to Israel. And that is a red pill in itself for most people, because a lot of people are going to also wake up to the fact the public's not ready yet for that red pill. I can tell you that right now. When people are going to be looking at Israel as a huge part of a lot of the problems in this entire world, that's going to be crazy. But this is where it's going. And this is why it's so important to bring this up now, because this is ultimately where it's going to. This is going to be going to the source of a lot of these problems that we have in this world. It's actually going to be touching the people that thought they could never be touched. So we're going to have to see what happens in the next week and the coming weeks. Who is she going to oust? Who is she going to throw under the bus first? Is she even going to get that far? So I want to go with this theory here from Mike Bravo. I normally don't do threads like this, but I thought it had some logical things that made sense, because a lot of people were confused as to how Ghislaine was moving around supposedly from country to country, from mansion to mansion, and without getting caught. She knew she was being chased. We knew she had been one of the most wanted people in the world. How was she getting away and not arrested this entire time? Well, this theory from Mike Bravo speaks some light to that. So this is his theory. My theory is Maxwell was taken with Epstein last year. They have been running a sting on all the pedophiles for a while now. While Maxwell was free, how many of the co-conspirators reach out to her to find out where the videos are? They think the video was gone. They communicated with her about their videos. They think they're safe. And I'm so glad he retweeted this tweet from Alan Dershowitz, and I even retweeted this myself. Let me click this real quick. Alan Dershowitz said, I hope Epstein made videos. There have been suggestions that Epstein made secret videos of all the men who had sex in his houses and planes. I hope he did, and they are all revealed, because they will prove I am not among them. We know Alan Dershowitz was on the Epstein log for the Lolita Express and also the island. I hereby waive any right of privacy in Epstein videos. Now, for him to tweet something out like this shows a lot of confidence, so he might be off the hook. He might have never have done anything in this island. And I want to get this straight to everybody. Not everybody that went to Epstein's island did some of these acts. We can't just assume they all did. We can assume a lot of them did, because what the hell else are you doing out there? We knew what the structure of his island was. The weird clock dial with the altars on it. What are those for? So let's get back to the thread here. How much you want to bet the co-conspirators reached out to their pals to let them know the video was destroyed? Maxwell was Mossad. Was she the Queen Q mentioned in May? That's pure speculation. I have no sauce besides this thread. This is pure speculation. Cooperating witnesses for a year at least, she was a sting op to catch her handlers and all the pedos from the island. Mike Bravo continues to say, follow me. Pedo calls Maxwell. Pedo then calls friends, giving all clear. Pedos call more pedos, and her handlers call. They call their bosses. They call their bosses. Maxwell is the keystone. And there's been a lot of debate among Anons and people in the Truther community and Red Pill community. A lot of people think Epstein was the keystone. But again, guys, I'm just putting this out there. This is a theory. This is not something that I have sauce for. I thought it was an interesting take on what could possibly happen, because I had the same feeling when all this was being brought up. This is such a serious case, and Barr wants this handled now. How is Ghislaine allowed to go around? And she was even taking pictures, those weird pictures of herself eating at like these hot dog places. And she had the book about killing CIA spies. And it was very apparent. She had that book right up there so you could see the title. I don't remember the name of the book, but I was like, this is so weird. So is there something really going on behind the fact? Because we saw when the new Southern District Attorney General had the press conference, the media was asking what's going on in New Hampshire. How did this all go down? She did not give that many details about how it went down, when they said it was 8:30 in the morning in New Hampshire, and that's all they would give. They didn't give any details before that, what led up to that, nothing. So for me, this is an open-ended book, and I don't know if we're ever going to find out, but we might find out very soon that she was actually already arrested, and she was being used to sucker in all the other players that needed to come down. And maybe now they have names, they have proof, they have whatever they need to carry out a mass operation to take all these elite pedophiles down. And we'll have to see. And last thing on this, before we switch topics, from my boy Methods, he cut this clip out from Dan Bongino's show, and it's very eye-opening. Take a watch and listen.
I'll leave this on this note here. There have long been rumors about surveillance operations on Jeffrey Epstein's planes and some of these residences he had. He was very wealthy. There have been rumors for a long time of videos. There have also been rumors that some of those videos may not have been Epstein's. In other words, some of those video operations may not have been there with Epstein's tacit approval, because other people had an interest in what other people were doing around Epstein. You picking that up?
Yeah, it's movie night. Yeah.
It may be for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it ain't a good one. It's a horror movie, folks.
Yeah.
This case, Epstein may not be with us anymore, but this case is going to be for a long time. There are a lot of rich and powerful people really sweating tonight.
There's a lot of rich and powerful people that are sweating tonight. And the thing is, my opinion on this too, I agree with Dan Bongino. Epstein's island was probably used by CIA, by Mossad, and who the hell else knows that wanted blackmail on certain people that had certain connections to Epstein and some people that Epstein might not even known about. This goes into so many directions. The case files, I mean, this is unprecedented. And it's no coincidence that this is happening right now. With everything going on in the world, there is so much happening. And what else can you say about it? What else can you say about it? So there is a lot of pain to come. And I think it's only Tuesday. We still have the rest of the week to go. So let's see what happens as the week comes, because this is week 10 and it's going to get spicy. Let me hop over the chat. Holy cow. We're at 6,500 viewers, guys. You are fantastic. Thank you so much. Hit that like button. And of course, guys, when you go down to the description, go check out Flip City Mag. There is a promo code for all first responders, police, and military. Use the code USA at checkout for the subscription to their magazine. Go to the link and check out flipcitymag.com. So we get all that covered. So there's a lot to discover with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell still. So just to go over some real quick things before we wrap up tonight. We're still seeing coronavirus make headlines because, the riots are starting to wane down a little bit. There are certain cities that are still dealing with a lot of these problems, but either way, we have Brightburn here talking about the daily coronavirus deaths in the U.S. continue to plummet as confirmed cases hit record levels. And there's really not too much to go over here because what we're seeing now is, again, another campaign of media just talking about COVID and how the cases are going up, but at the same time, the number of deaths is dropping at a record rate, and no one is talking about that. No one wants to talk about the record deaths, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. And now, the big question is are schools going to be open come spring, come September or fall? That is still to be determined, so we're going to have to see. But my whole entire view of this is this homeless guy. I feel exactly how this homeless guy feels right here. You guys are going to see right now. This was out. This is from Cali Conservative. CNN trying to hype up virus fears in California as a homeless man pulls down his pants and drops a deuce in the background. And this is how I feel about all the coverage on COVID. Take a watch.
The end of July, they could have completely filled ICU beds. No more beds available for people.
There you go.
In the ICU if the rate keeps continuing like this. And so here
that's a daily occurrence in California, especially on San Francisco. But it's just really funny. It's just really funny. And that whole entire image is exactly how I feel most America feels about all this crap going on with COVID still. And the fact that it was on CNN and this reporter is wearing a mask, and the moment the camera goes off, that mask comes off. We're not stupid. And just seeing a homeless man drop a deuce behind her, what better symbology for CNN, because they are the shit network that they are. It's really, really funny. And just some other news here real quick. If you guys didn't hear, the Trump administration completely cut ties with the WHO. Said goodbye. And it made me so happy because this whole entire push for globalism that is still kind of happening, but it's coming back a little bit more. We have completely cut ties with the WHO, and I hope we can cut ties with the UN next. This whole entire globalistic push that the deep state and the puppet masters want the world to go into, because when that happens, more of the few at the top of the pyramid control more. What happens when you have a global currency? All that stuff plays into it. But we got out of that. And just to give you guys just another, if you guys want some quick fear porn here that's laughable at this point, the WHO is monitoring bubonic plague case in China's Inner Mongolia. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up because COVID's not enough. We literally have a situation here where the WHO is monitoring a bubonic plague case in China's Inner Mongolia. So guys, watch out. We might have the bubonic plague coming because if not enough people died from COVID, we have to make sure we have another pandemic lined up maybe before November or right after. Just in case Trump wins, let's slam him with another pandemic. Why not, right? It's just absolutely ridiculous. So where do I want to end off today? I want to end off on this article here. A person from my Patreon sent me this article last night. I wasn't able to get it, but I was able to get it in tonight because I had time to read it. This is a wonderful, wonderful article, and it's from the American Thinker, talking about QAnon. And as I was reading it, I was waiting and waiting and waiting for the hit piece, for the negative coverage to come, but it never came. So I'm going to read some of it for you guys tonight. The article says, as the crisis deepens, Q says rise or die. Americans celebrated Independence Day this year in the most perilous state since the Civil War, uncertain if our divided house can still stand. But beneath the terrifying screams of violence, riots, and political hysteria, it's a small voice, we are a loud voice, could be heard, the unprecedented voice of Q. Q's growing community of followers believe that Q is a military intelligence operation, the first of its kind, whose goal is to provide the public with secret information. Q, they believe, is a new weapon in the game of information warfare, bypassing a hostile media and corrupt government to communicate directly with the public. And despite hundreds of hostile attacks in the mainstream press, and it's not hundreds, it's thousands now, Q's influence is expanding with multiple candidates for Congress expressing support. Recently, to the disgust of Forbes, Eric Trump tweeted an American flag with a Q on it and Q's signature slogan. And the slogan again, where we go one, we go all. Eric's wife, Lara, had also tweeted a Q message, so has the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. And remember when Eric did that before the Tulsa rally? It got everyone hyped up because it was Trump's first rally, and we'd have Eric literally putting an image on his Instagram of Q. And Q even linked it and said, more of these instances are going to become more in your face. There's going to be no denying of this connection between the Trump administration and Q team. And it's getting to that point. So it continues to say, most crucially, President Trump himself has repeatedly drawn attention to Q through his tweets and ads, yet the press refuses to ask him about it. That is still to happen. Who is going to get the balls up there to ask the president about QAnon? It's probably not going to be anytime soon because all they want to talk about right now is the stupid Confederate flag. But anyways, the recent arrest of Ghislaine Maxwell, confidant the late Jeffrey Epstein, may initiate a new phase of what Q calls the Great Awakening. Assuming that Maxwell stays alive, the public may finally learn some of the deepest secrets of the cult, the long-entrenched global crime syndicate that operated with impunity until President Trump's election. And I just want to read, this is a long article, I just want to read the last two paragraphs because I want to go back to where they were talking about the Great Awakening here. There we go. Come on. So they write here, the lockdown decimated, talking about COVID. The lockdown decimated the economy, which had been one of Trump's greatest achievements. It set the stage for pent-up youth to release their frustrations, which we saw in the riots, and it directed media attention away from Obamagate scandal of an illegal coup against the presidency and the many questions surrounding Biden's deals in Ukraine and China. And remember that. All the stuff about the Spygate scandal, all the notes coming out, all the declassification coming out, and you have COVID and the riots happening at the same time. There is no coincidences anymore, ladies and gentlemen. This is all timed out for a reason. And they write, war. The future of our republic is at stake. Survival as a nation. We rise or we die. We the people, warns Q. Fortunately, Q empowered us with the winning tactic to serve as digital soldiers against the media machine. By sharing this article, you can be a digital soldier too. And as Q says, welcome to the digital battlefield. Together, we win. And I thought this was a super cool article. And again, there was no hit piece at all. It was all positive stuff. So this is where I want to end tonight. This entire movement that we call the Great Awakening, I believe, has many facets to it. The fact that we are getting around the mainstream media, that they are a crumbling cancer to this world, this country, is a huge indicator of where we're going as a public, because learning some stuff from meditation and just me researching and just diving into deeper of human consciousness and so many other things. The people at the top of this pyramid, the people that we know, some of these groups, we know the Masons, we know all these some of these secret societies, but there is definitely some that we don't even know. And at the top of this pyramid, these people know what reality is. They know how to play the game on both sides. That's why I hear people tell me all the time, you're talking about Trump. It doesn't matter which side, they're all puppets being played on a certain side. And to some degree, that's probably true. That's probably true. But the biggest thing, guys, to walk away with tonight, this great awakening that we're going through, people that think they call themselves small, we're just one person, I can't change anything, I have a small Twitter account, my voice is not heard. That way of thinking has to go to the wayside. It has to. I used to think that way myself. When I started to become awake, when I started to learn this knowledge, I told myself, what can I do? I'm just one person. How can I make a change? How can I get my opinion out there to where people listen to any kind of truth? The key to changing the world to what we want it to be, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, humans, the knowledge to change our realities and change our perceptions, and how powerful it is where we can wake up and say, I am a person that will change perception, will change my own reality. When we can take personal responsibility and know that we can change our own responsibility, just our own reality with just our words and thoughts, it's something that I did myself, and you guys will start to see synchronicity start happening in your life. You'll start to see things happen for yourselves when you get out of this negative low vibration frequencies. The Great Awakening is a mass awakening of our humankind coming together. And it's something we have to realize and go forward and know that as we come together, the unity is what we're all looking for, the peaceful unity of humankind. And that's what we need. That's what we need. We are one. We always say, we want the world that we want. Why is it so evil? Why is it so dark? We are this close, ladies and gentlemen. All it is one perception away. When we start thinking and telling ourselves we are strong, we are powerful, one person, all of us realizing this, coming together, that is literally all it's going to take. And Q has been a huge catalyst for this, because all they preach is free thinking and free thought. And what is happening right now, there is a globalist push to push all this information, everything down to a globalist world. So they control it, and the ideas and expansion of human thought get sucked in and suppressed when all the possibility is out here. That is where we all need to be. We all need to be outside the field of the matrix. We all need to unplug. And once we're there, we have to maintain it, because the battle is not over when all these people go away. This is going to be a continuous fight for years to come. We are at the forefront of it right now. So just take that away, guys, and just know that we are all in this together, and we're going to get through this together, and we'll have to see what happens in the coming weeks. So let me hop over to the chat and take a look. We're at 6,115 viewers. You guys are awesome. We broke records tonight. It was really awesome hanging out with all you guys. Thank you for stopping by. On your way out, please check out my store. Check out all the cool woke and Q merch that I sell, the shirts, the hats, the mugs. So a lot of cool stuff. It's supporting this channel, and it supports 2 other local businesses out here in New York, and it's just great to see, to have that support. You guys are the backbone of this channel. Don't ever forget. That's why I always say we and not me or I. We're all in this together. And yeah, it's been a wild ride. And it's only Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. Q hasn't posted in a few days, which has been great. Every episode I've done in the last 2 months, I think, we've covered Q drops. So people are always wondering, well, what if Q doesn't drop? There is more than enough to cover when Q doesn't drop. Trust me, we don't need Q to drop every single day to have content. There is so much going on in the world. So thank you guys. Thank you. Hang out with you just a little bit longer. Let me check my phone, make sure I didn't miss anything here. Yeah, guys, you guys crushed it. 6,000 viewers. I can't believe that. That is a record. We're pulling big boy numbers now. So I want to thank JoJo. Thank you, Pops. Thank you. It's Friday. I think it's Friday, baby. I think that's her name. Sorry if I messed up your name. All the mods out there, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. It's always great. Check out my sponsor in the description below and all that good stuff. And yeah, you guys, my schedule is going to be on, again, it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Tuesday live stream, 2 recorded episodes. The rest of the days, I'm going to be doing the show. I'm going to be on tomorrow night with, let me just make sure I got it up here again, with M2 or M3. Methods, you all know Methods. Me and Methods are going to be on the 5x5 show tomorrow night with Conscious Abe. So yeah, I've been doing this way too long. My mind is forward. With Conscious Abe at his 5x5 show tomorrow night, July 8th from 5 to 6 p.m. Check it out. It's going to be a good time. and all that good stuff. So I'm going to wrap up tonight's show right now. There we go. All right, guys. You guys have been great. Thanks for joining here tonight. Remember, this is Woke Societies. Like, share, comment. I'm Scott, the creator of this channel. Leave a comment in the drop. Hit the like button on the way out. Let me know what you thought of the episode. I'm here all week. I'll see you guys later. Remember, stay safe, stay warm, and as I always like to say, stay woke. Good night, everybody.